Hello beautiful soul! I hope you are ready for a gorgeous new knit pattern. We have a beautiful one for you today. It is so unique and it can be worn in multiple ways. This shawl designed for you by Janica Carter is super versatile. It was designed as a shawl, but I think it would also make a cute little skirt or a beach cover up. I think you're gonna love the inspiration behind this shawl. It's called Lampy after a very special little garden gnome. It really is the sweetest little story. Back in the 1800s, there was this fellow named Sir Charles Edmund Isham, and he was considered an eccentric spiritualist. Well, he owned Lamport Hall in England. He began buying terracotta gnomes and placing them throughout his garden. He was actually inspired by watching miners in Germany carry little talismans into the mines as good luck charms. He loved fairies and gnomes so much, he even thought that they were magical and came to life at night. After his death, however, his daughters, who did not love gnomes as much, decided to get rid of them. And there's even a theory that they shot them with air rifles. Bing, bing! It's not very nice. But there's one little fellow named Lampy who actually survived. He was discovered in a crevice in the 1940s, and at over 150 years old is considered the oldest garden gnome. And he's actually valued at over 2 million pounds. So this Lampy pattern is a series of wedges that resemble the iconic garden gnome hats. You create the wedge shapes using very basic knit stitches like knit stitches, slip stitches, and wraps and turns. So even if you're fairly new to knitting, as long as you've made a few projects, I think you can tackle this one. Between each wedge are these fun little speckled sections, and those resemble little flowers sprinkled throughout a garden. So I hope when you wear this shawl, you feel as magical as Lampy, and that you feel you're worth over 2 million pounds, and let's hope you don't fall into a crevice. What I love about this pattern is its incredible versatility. You can easily adjust the width or the length by casting on more or fewer stitches or working more or fewer wedges. So if you'd prefer to turn this into a skirt, just work more wedges until you get the size you like for a wrap skirt. I think this would be super fun as a beach wrap. So you could wear it on the beach as a cute little skirt, and then when you hop into the restaurant and maybe the AC is blasting, you can wrap it around your shoulders to keep warm. So super fun. You're gonna need 4 colors of our Luster Sport yarn to make this. It's shimmering and soft and long wearing, so it is great for projects like this. You can download the pattern as well as get the yarn at expressionfiberarts.com, and of course we're going to put the direct links in the description box for you. While you're there on the site, do sign up for email updates. You can get coupon codes, new patterns, and news about our new yarns. Let's go ahead and jump into today's tutorial. I will be working a shorter version for you today, so be sure to check the pattern for the stitch counts and other info. So here's how you get started working the wedge section. So for the wedge, I started with 20 stitches cast on, and you're going to have a lot more for the actual piece. And row 1, you just knit across, and then row 2, you knit across. So I've already worked those 2 rows. So I'm gonna go ahead and move right into row number 3. So for row 3, you're gonna slip your first stitch with your yarn and back with the tips of your needles together. So that's called slipping purlwise. Then you're gonna knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna wrap and turn. So you're gonna slip the next stitch from your left needle to your right needle purlwise. Then bring your working yarn from the back to the front. Then you're going to return that slipped stitch back onto your left needle. Then you're good to go to turn your work and then work the next row. So the next row is row 4, which is a wrong side row, so it's the same as row 2. You just knit all the stitches across. All your wrong side rows for the wedge, you just knit all the stitches. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into row 5. You're going to slip your first stitch with your yarn and back. Then you're going to knit 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you're going to work another wrap and turn. So go ahead and slip that stitch. Bring your yarn to the front and slip the stitch back. Then you can turn, and you're going to work a wrong side row, which is to just knit every stitch across. You can see we're already starting to get a little wedge forming. So let's go ahead and work row 7. So very, very similar. You're going to slip the first stitch with yarn in back. Now we're going to knit 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And we're going to wrap and turn again. So slip your next stitch, yarn to the front, pop that stitch back onto your left needle, and then turn. And then we're on a wrong side row, so you're just going to go ahead and knit all the rest of those stitches for that row. All right, now for row 9. So this is very, very similar, and you're probably starting to see a pattern here. You're going to go ahead and slip that first stitch with the yarn in back. Now we're going to knit 15. So we're increasing by 4 stitches each time we do this for the stitches here that we're knitting. 1, 2, 3, 14, 15, and then wrap and turn. So slip your stitch, bring your yarn to the front, and slip your stitch back. And then you'll work a wrong side row, which is just knit stitches. So you're going to continue repeating those rows until you've used up all the stitches from row 2. And you're going to have a lot more stitches than I do. So just follow the pattern for that until you've used up all of your stitches. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop here so that I can show you how to work the speckled section. So you can see with just a few simple wraps and turns and basic knit stitches, you get this absolutely gorgeous little wedge shape, which is going to make the shape of your piece. Now let's go ahead and create some fun speckles. For row 1 of the speckled section, you're going to go ahead and grab your second color, and you're just going to knit across. So super easy to join your color, and just go ahead and knit all the way across the rest of that row. So that's row 1. Now to work row 2, go ahead and turn, of course. And you're going to start by slipping the first stitch with your yarn in back, boop, and then just knit across. Another nice easy row. So there's row 2. Let's go ahead and turn and work row 3. So you're going to go ahead and grab your color A, so you're just going to pull it right up the side and drop color B. So with color A, you're going to start with a knit 1, then you're going to slip 1 with yarn in back. So your yarn is in the back, go ahead and slip that next stitch. You're going to repeat that all the way across your row. Knit 1, slip 1 with yarn in back, knit 1, slip 1 with yarn in back, and continue repeating that till you have 2 stitches left. Knit, slip, knit, slip, knit, slip, knit, slip. And when you do get to the end, you're just going to knit those final 2 stitches. Okay, I've turned, and now we're going to work row 4. So you're going to slip that first stitch with your yarn in back, then you're going to knit 1, slip 1 with your yarn in front. So move the yarn to the front and slip that next stitch, and repeat that across to your last stitch. Knit 1, slip 1 with yarn in front, knit 1, slip 1 with yarn in front. Continue repeating that all the way across. Knit, slip, and then when you get to that final stitch, you're just going to knit it. And then rows 5 and 6 are super easy. You're going to repeat rows 1 and 2. So you're going to use your second color, your color B. So drop color A, pick up color B, and work rows 1 and 2. So row 1 is knit all the way across, so just knit all the stitches. Go ahead and turn and work row 2. Row 2 is very similar. You're just going to slip that first stitch with the yarn in back, and then you're going to knit across. Okay, let's go ahead and move into row 7. So you're going to grab color A, drop color B. Again, we're just pulling it along the side. And you're going to start with a knit 1. Then you're going to knit 1, slip 1 with yarn in back all the way across to the last stitch. Knit 1, slip 1 with yarn in back, knit 1, slip 1 with yarn in back, and continue repeating that. And when you do get to the last stitch, you're just going to knit that stitch. See how we're getting these fun little speckles in here. Let's go ahead and work row 8. So you're going to slip your first stitch with the yarn in the back. Then you're going to repeat across your row. Slip one with yarn in front, knit one. Slip one with yarn in front, knit one. Slip, knit, slip, knit. Knit, and when you reach the final stitch, you're just going to knit that. So here's this side of the project, and then check out these beautiful little speckles that you're getting on this side. Absolutely gorgeous. So you're simply going to repeat those rows and sections as mentioned in the pattern, or as many times as you like to create the size and the shape that you prefer. How fun is that? A beautifully inspired shawl that will take you through many seasons and remind you just how much you are worth. This shawl reminds me that life really is like a garden. You get the joy of planting and cultivating new things, removing what doesn't serve you, and learning to build patience and trust throughout the process. Have a beautiful day, my dear friend, and I will see you next week with another new pattern. Bye-bye for now. Mwah.
2 million pounds! What?
Who weren't quite as, what? Bing, bing. It's not very nice. Bing, bing. Gross. That's the least sexy thing I've ever seen. My hair's in my eyeball. Oh, we're cracking ourselves up if nothing else.
Ooh, I can squish your head though.
Squish my head. Ah! Shawl, you feel as magical as Lampy, and that you know, and that you feel you're not even. Oh, it's really bad. Let's hope you don't get stuck in a crevice.
Giggle, giggle, giggle.
Giggle. Wah, 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 wah.
Alright, we'll see. We'll keep that.
Anyways.
Alright.
And let's hope you don't get stuck in a crevice.
Oh! Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my god. Oh.
My stomach hurts.
Oh, that is the funniest thing. Oh, that is comedy gold. Ow. Ow. Well, we can't keep any of that footage in.